What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Post Malone has proved that he has more to offer than just a hit single. White Iverson was huge, but since then he showed his potential staying power within music. He toured with Justin Bieber, which is huge. Bieber doesn't really throw a lot of rappers on tour with him, so that right there is a big moment for him. He released his better than expected debut mixtape August 26th, and he's racked up more millions on Spotify. And so now we're here with his debut album. The title is Stoney. I hate that title. That title is awful. There's no justifying it. It's just a bad title. However, I'm willing to overlook certain things like that when the music is good. Just like with his mixtape, I was surprised in Stoney. It has some cuts on it. All the music that I reviewed this weekend, J. Cole, Lloyd, The Dream, and Ab-Soul, I know what to expect from them. They're established artists. For Post Malone, even though he has the mixtape out, I really wasn't sure what to expect from this album. So I would have to award Post Malone with the most surprising body of work award, if there is such a thing. Now let's talk about some of my favorite songs. Starting off things with Cold. Why isn't this another single? With White Iverson being huge, this seems like a nice follow-up for that. I know he's had other singles since, but in terms of staying with that similar sound that White Iverson crafted, Cold follows in that footstep. He says, "My wrist so cold, my ice on froze, and it's all for you." Like, how romantic is that? You should just go ahead and text the person that you like those lyrics right now and see what she responds with. So I liked Cold. I think it has potential to be a hit single. And it's funny because you listen to a lot of Post Malone's music, especially on Stoney, and you have these notions that a lot of this can be a hit single at some point. If they just happen to push it that way. I know a lot of it is more like subjective and not everybody's going to agree, but I definitely feel like there's some potential there with Cold. Speaking of being cold, I Fall Apart is one of the best songs on the album. There is just so much raw emotion. Imagine listening to White Iverson, and I'm going to keep referencing the song probably maybe 2 or 3 more times in this review. Imagine listening to that and thinking how infectious his sound is and why it caught on. Now imagine if he applied some emotion to his sound. That's what you get with I Fall Apart. I'm literally listening to the opening lines and I'm like, God damn, he's singing his soul out on this record. I can't even repeat the opening lyrics because I'm going to cry on camera. But I really thought that I Fall Apart was the most surprising song on here, just because of the sheer emotion that is involved with it. And I think that is where his strength lies. His strength lies in crafting something that has emotion to it. The last record that I wanted to highlight is titled Feel. It features Kehlani, and this is a great collaboration to me. So on Feel, the two tackle the subjects of love and sex. It's just that simple, but at the same time, it's very effective. Now let me run through a couple honorable mentions. The first one is Patient. I just like the melody on this, the whole vibe. It was just real upbeat. So that is in my honorable mentions. Broken Whiskey Glass is the intro. This is what country would sound like if it had a trap edge to it. The last one that I wanted to highlight was Money Made Me Do It. And this was on August 26th, but it was so good that he had to put it on the album. It features 2 Chainz, and when I was listening to it, it just brought back like all the memories of the mixtape, and so I liked the song a lot, and it still sounds as fresh as it did back in the summertime. Now let's talk about some of the bad songs. The first one is Deja Vu featuring Justin Bieber. The biggest feature on Post Malone's album is disappointing, but it's not disappointing because Bieber didn't put in any work. He does sound nice, but the whole thing about this song is that it sounds like a Hotline Bling ripoff. The same producers that made Hotline Bling returned for Deja Vu. I won't doubt that this could be a hit single, but I really don't want to see that because it sounds so much like Hotline Bling. just the production and even like the same melody chords to it. I felt like the two just could have done something entirely different, something much greater, if they had put their creative mind together and not tried to chase being a knockoff version of something. The other record that I really wasn't feeling is Go Flex. On an album that has 18 songs, you're gonna have songs that sound very generic. And when you have a record like Cold and White Iverson, hey, I reference it again. When you have those two records, then you have a record like Go Flex. It's like, this is like the generic version of both of those songs. He's talking about the same kind of subjects, but nothing really sounds good about it. The overall vibe is just not catchy. It's just not a record that sounds good. It's just a boring offering for an album that has other things that are similar to it. Sometimes artists surprise you. Nobody would blame you or I if you didn't get on the Post Malone wagon, because we've seen this time and time again. An artist has a hit single, artist gets 15 minutes of fame, artist fades away. That's what we've seen over and over again. So Post Malone is someone who you could have written off then. If I didn't do reviews, I probably would have wrote him off too. I might not be listening to this album. I might have missed out on some good that Stoney has. Still a stupid title, but there are some great records on here. I think Post Malone is going to be here to stay. For how long, nobody really knows, but I think that this debut album further establishes his sound as something that's going to be around for longer than a year. So we'll see where Post Malone continues on his journey as an artist. So those are my thoughts on Post Malone's Stoney, still a stupid title. Let me know what you think about the album in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at SermonsDomain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.